Heather Slusser here with the University of Wisconsin-Madison Division of Extension. Today, I am joined by Tina Kohlman to talk about the fact sheet that she helped co-author entitled Milk Reduction Strategies Through Early Dry-Off. Thank you for being here today, Tina.
Thank you, Heather. Appreciate the opportunity to share a little bit more information about early dry-off for cows.
Could you tell us what prompted you to help write this fact sheet?
The reason the fact sheet is written is a part of a series of fact sheets to help farmers and agribusiness professionals to make more informed decisions about managing the surplus of milk. As you know, some processors here in Wisconsin and throughout the United States have asked their farmers to reduce the amount of milk going to the plant because of the disruption in our supply chain. And ways to do that include dumping the milk, but are there other cost-effective ways or more economical ways to reduce production and not have to dispose of the milk? So early dry-off is one of the strategies that producers could look into as they're looking at ways to reduce the amount of milk that they're putting out to the plant processors.
Could you tell us how much milk can be reduced through early dry-off?
Well, Victor Cabrera, our extension dairy management specialist, had put together some calculations for us. And it's estimated that they could reduce about 500 pounds of milk for every additional 10 days in their dry period. So traditional dry periods are 45 to 60 days. If we added 10 additional days, we're looking at 500 additional pounds of reduced milk going into the tank. 500 pounds isn't a lot, but it is still something that we don't have to dispose of. And then also we can reduce some costs because our cows will eat less. This would equate to approximately $60 less income over feed costs for every 10 days, when milk is about 15 cents per pound and our feed cost is 10 cents per pound of dry matter.
Which cows are candidates for early dry-off?
Producers have utilized early dry-off in the past to help some of those chronic mastitis cows heal their udders through involution of the dry period. So our chronic mastitis cows, our high somatic cell count cows are also candidates. Our low producing cows, those late lactation scale cows that are not producing enough milk to pay for their own bills, or even those cows that have a low persistency, meaning that they're dropping their milk production more than a 2% per week in their late lactation curve. And to look at that, those that are monitoring production on a weekly basis or daily basis can look at the persistency curves. And if those cows are not maintaining 2% or less in their drop in late lactation, those are also candidates for early dry-off.
What are some management considerations when looking at early dry-off?
Well, one of the management considerations for early dry-off does include the capacity or the space available. That means we'll have more additional dry cows and pre-fresh cows in the system. So having enough stall space, bunk space, or even a dry lot, especially this time of year, getting them out on pasture or on a dirt lot will help. So space is huge because we don't want to overcrowd these animals. Another consideration is the type of antimicrobial that are being used for dry-off, taking consideration that these antimicrobials for dry cow therapy have a certain life to them. So talking to your veterinarian about the type of product and if that product is good for an extended dry period is going to be taken into consideration. And one of the main things we want to consider is the nutrition and the body condition of our dry cows. With an extended dry period, they can put on additional weight, which then becomes an issue at pre-fresh with metabolic disorders because of the heavy coverage. We want to maintain those cows about an average of 3.0 body condition scores. And if we do gain too much condition, again, we have fatty liver issues, ketosis, displaced abomasums, many of those metabolic disorders that will not set them up for success in the next lactation. So looking at their rations, looking at the rations to determine a best effort to maintain weight as well as enough nutrients to continue growth of the fetus is key when it comes to taking some considerations for our extended dry period. We don't have any research, but industry in general recommends no longer than 70-day extended dry period, because if we have 70 days or more for a dry period, we are increasing the risk of putting some coverage or some weight onto those cows. So when we're looking at extended dry period, we also want to take into consideration the rations availability and what we've done in past practice on the farm, whether cows have been gaining weight as part of a long time dry period. I want to remind everybody those fact sheets are available, several of them including the extended dry cow period, on our UW Extension Dairy Program Area website. They can just Google UWEX Dairy and they'll see a list of resources, not only for managing the surplus, but also access to our COVID-19 resources.
Thank you, Tina, for this wonderful information and being here with us today. It is greatly appreciated.